Good day to you. My name is Kevin Lee Vaughn Jr. Today is Monday, July 27, 2015, 9:40 a.m. I'm going to read to you an essay that I completed back in 2001 for my Strategies for Success class while I was attending Florida Metropolitan University in Orlando, Florida. The title of my essay is Abortion and Anti-Abortion Terrorists. The United States government has legalized the practice of abortion, a practice that many Americans disagree with. Our former president, Bill Clinton, vetoed a bill twice that would have banned the practice of abortion here in America. So as in legalizing the slaughter of innocent babies, they have also adopted a drug to induce the chances of pregnancy. Since this law has been passed by the United States Congress and vetoed by former President Bill Clinton, there has been a rise in anti-abortion terrorists. Please be aware of the intense graphics of contents in this passage. The material may not be suitable for anyone under the tender age of 18, so minors, please get your parents' permission to view this passage. The Supreme Court has given women the rights to have an abortion, saying women can do to their bodies as they please. Because of this ruling, many persons, including myself, are disgusted with our government. Another major ruling decision came from the horrific fact that women used to take coat hangers to abort the baby themselves. In other words, women used to put these objects into their vaginas, into their womb, stabbing the babies to death. In many cases, women often bled to death themselves. This matter had become the focus point of the Supreme Court's ruling, although it is still evil practice. Abortion, a serious and complicated act of murdering babies before they are born. Many people have become victimized from practicing means of abortion. This is certainly a moral issue of responsibility. The love or hate individual has for life and having a conscience. There are many questions to be asked. One is an abortion worth a lifetime of agony? I ask this question because from it rises such low and outcast feelings such as anger, emptiness, grief, guilt, PAS, or post-abortion stress, and regret. Also arising from the practice of abortion comes what is known as anti-abortion terrorists, who seeks to cause terror on those who practice abortion. You will now experience the effects of an abortion, the different types of methods to performing abortion, and the things one extreme anti-abortionist has done. Short-term effects of abortion are the physical pain of a woman feels Short-term effects of abortion are the physical pain a woman feels from being exhausted. After the task has been completed, just like in a normal birthing procedure, women still have contractions, which can be painful from what I hear. Women also tend to rest more often in this period of exhaustion, and I can only imagine that they cannot rest in peace. The long-term effects of abortion generally leaves an everlasting scar or wound to the woman, her family, the man's family, and to their loved ones. From this wound, a woman normally becomes angry with herself and everyone around her. she's not able to deal with the problem and decisions she had made in an adult fashion. Women also tend to cut themselves off from decent society, from guilt, and from emptiness. By making herself to be an outcast to civilized society, she becomes empty, filled with nothing, causing herself to be open for evil and diluted spirits to come into her life to have great influence of her, often at times being influenced to commit suicide. Such spirits as anger, the feeling of extreme annoyance, emptiness, containing nothing, grief, intense sorrow, especially at a time of death, guilt, the awareness of doing wrong, PAS or post-abortion stress, where a man or woman represses the emotions that they have after an abortion and regret to feel sorry about something previously done or said that now appears wrong, mistaken, or hurtful to others, has taken a great toll on her once she feels deserted, lost, not important, not being loved, and that she does not want to live anymore. There are two types of abortion methods. One is the pill known as RU486, which is a trademark of a drug that blocks the body's use of progesterone and is used to induce an early term abortion. The other way is surgical. There are two surgical ways to abortion. The first one is what is known as partial birth abortion. This is when the doctor partially gives birth to the baby by only allowing the head out of the woman's vagina, to only drive a scalpel, which is a surgical knife with a short and very sharp blade, through the baby's head until it twitches and breathes its last breath of life in pain and in misery. The other means of surgical abortion is done with a vacuum. The doctor puts a vacuum hose up the woman's vagina, making way to her womb to suck the baby to nothing. The drug or pill known as RU486 has been practiced in France since 1988. The United States adopted this method later and found out by the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, that the pill was not what it was thought to be. The FDA had found that the drug made some women sick and they still were getting pregnant. The pill method cost about $550 and the surgical method cost about $400. I wish they were about $25,000 or more, which would in itself stop abortion. After reading the terrible truths about the long and short-term effects of abortion, you are now going to see the terror that has been given birth by abortion. Take Clay Wagner for the example. Clay Wagner is a man that has escaped from the DeWitt County Jail in Clinton, Illinois, who was arrested for firearm and vehicle theft charges. Wagner is currently a fugitive to this date. Wagner sincerely believes that he was sought free from prison by God and was given the mission from God to stop the senseless slaughter of murdering innocent babies. He described his miraculous wonder with the prophet of the Bible known as Jonas. Prison being the well of Jonas that has swallowed up Jonas, and prison has swallowed up Wagner. God had set forth a mission for Jonas, but Jonas had ran away from God's calling. This is what brought about the whale. After the whale had swallowed up Jonas, it spewed Jonas to the land he was supposed to be. Well, according to Wagner, God done the same thing to him by setting him free, by giving Wagner the knowledge to open the doors of the maximum security prisons. It is very unique that Wagner uses the prophet Jonas and his story to compare with. Since Wagner has been a fugitive, he has held up a clinic ordering the workers to resign from their jobs or he would kill them. Wagner also has a hit list of 42 people that he would like to kill. They are all workers of abortion clinics. No matter which way a woman goes about in having an abortion, we can all agree to the horrible fact that it is very cruel, painful, and it is a disgrace for anyone to practice. I challenge those that have practiced abortion to allow me or someone else to drive a scalpel through their heads so that they are able to witness at first hand the pain and misery they have caused. Citizens that has to school for 8 years or more are now facing terror, the birth of an anti-abortion terrorist. I ask you all this question. What man has the divine authority to take a baby's life and call it just? Amen. And that's the conclusion of my essay, Abortion and Anti-Abortion Terrorists, which is a terrible and evil act of the devil. Now don't get me wrong. I know in cases such as tubal pregnancy, the woman does not stand a chance of surviving. In my opinion, I believe it's necessary to terminate the pregnancy then simply because the woman has no chance of surviving. But in my opinion, I also believe this is the only reason to have an abortion or termination of pregnancy. I thank you for listening. Remember, no one can make it in this world alone. God's grace is sufficient.